Jesus journeys to Bethany and stays at the home of Mary and Martha. Jesus is also recorded as allowing Mary to sit at his feet like he allowed his disciples to do and listen to his teachings. This is another example of Jesus overturning the laws of social norms when they interfere with the kingdom of God. Jesus came not only for men, but for women as well. When Jesus arrives, Martha, who was also Jesus' disciple, tells him to rebuke her sister Mary, who has been out and about with him, instead of at home helping her with the meal preparations. But Jesus says that Mary has chosen a good portion, and it will not be taken away from her. Jesus doesn't tell Martha to be more like Mary, and Jesus doesn't tell Mary to be more like Martha. The ministry of both sisters was valid, but different. One of Jesus' disciples asks him to teach them how to pray like John had taught his disciples. Jesus responds by reciting to them what we call the Lord's Prayer. However, this version is shorter than the one in Matthew's Gospel. Jesus then tells a parable about a friend who eventually agrees to help his neighbor who doesn't have enough food to feed a surprise guest. He helps him due to his persistent demands rather than because they are friends, despite the late hour and the inconvenience of it. Jesus later healed a demon-possessed man who was blind and mute, so that he could both talk and see. But the Pharisees said, "It's only by Beelzebul, the prince of demons, that this fellow drives out demons." And Jesus knows what they're thinking and tells them that the devil must be pretty stupid if he's driving himself out. How could the devil possibly have a lasting kingdom if that's how he goes about things? Jesus then tells a parable about a strong man. The strong man represents Satan, and the attacker represents Jesus. Jesus thus says that he could not perform exorcisms, represented by stealing the strong man's possessions, unless he was opposed to and had defeated Satan, represented by tying up the strong man. Jesus then goes on to say that the people he has been speaking to are wicked, saying that all they want is a sign, but the only sign they'll get is the sign of Jonah. He says that he himself will be a sign to the people, just as Jonah was to the Ninevites when he was swallowed up for 3 days. He emphasizes that the Gentiles are no worse than the Jews by referring to the Ninevites who repented at Jonah's preaching, and the queen of the south who sought out Solomon's wisdom. He says that they will condemn this generation at the judgment for not receiving him. He then tells a parable about the lamp of the body. Later, Jesus again flips tradition on its head by not washing before the meal at a Pharisee's house. Jesus uses this as an opportunity to point out that there are more important laws than washing one's hands, and the Pharisees have decided to follow the less important laws while ignoring the most important laws of loving God and loving neighbor.